Hello, hello. How is everybody doing out there? This is a different time for me to come on. I know every blue moon I like to shake things up a bit and do it a little differently. So that's what I'm doing today by coming on so late. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Twanna Carter. I am a career transition coach and I help women overcome the fear and anxiety that comes from career transition by empowering them to recognize and communicate their value, right? And I do that by instilling a deep sense of belief in their own strengths and abilities so that they can courageously and confidently create success on their own terms and pursue a path of purpose that's meaningful for them, right? So I do appreciate you joining on, and I've got a couple of screens going. I try not to miss any comments, so I like to have a couple of sets of screens going, right? And so as you pop on, go ahead and drop a hashtag live for me and let me know that you are on. I do appreciate you for joining, and those of you who joined me on a replay, as always thank you for doing that. I am so appreciative that you take the time out of your day to watch live and as well as catch the replay, right? And so do let me know where you're popping on from. I just want to be sure that I don't miss anyone. I think I got everybody there. Yes. I think I got everybody. So I do want this to be interactive, and you can ask questions tonight. So tonight, let me start off by asking a question, right? How many of you out of, like, let's say middle school, high school, right after, were told that you should get an education or just start working for a company? Start at the bottom, stay there, work your hardest, move up the ranks, and then retire. If that sounded about like the career advice that you had when you first started out, drop a hashtag yes in the comments. Again, for those of you that were told, the career path should be you leave school, like high school, right? You either get an education or you start working for a company. You land a good job and you just stay there. You put your head down, you work hard, you move up in the ranks, and then you retire. Okay? Drop a hashtag yes if that's the career advice that you got out of high school. It's what I got. I don't know about you, but it's pretty much what I got. It was the advice that we were given. You can either land a job, you can go to trade school, or you can go to a 4-year school, but your goal was to land a job, put your head down, do your best, work hard, follow the rules, move up, and then retire, right? Many of us got that. We got that advice. That's what we got. And let me say that I do have a Facebook group, and it's Courage to Transition Your Career. And ladies, for those of you that are in my free Facebook group, you can make comments. You can come to my profile page, or you can just make comments right there in the group. They won't show up for everyone else to see because it is a private group, but I am looking at both pages so I can see the comments, right? So I am being sure that I can see both the comments, and I have like 2 other screens here, so I just try to keep up with everybody's comments so I don't miss anything. So yes, and ladies, encouraged to transition your career. As you hop on, be sure to give me a hashtag live, and for those of you that catch your replay, give me a hashtag replay and let me know that you caught this on the replay. So I want to talk tonight about the fact that if you were told to, like, get an education, get a good job, put your head down, work your hardest, do your best, and move up in your career. Hey, Natalie, thanks for joining. That until you retire, that was the best advice. At the time that you received that advice, that was pretty much the best advice for you. Here's the thing. In the 21st century, that advice doesn't quite work anymore. Why? Because the kids that are like in middle school now, right? And the kids that are literally in middle school, that if you have a son, daughter, niece, nephew, hey Lisa, thanks for joining. And they are sitting there now working their way through school, they will be getting jobs that don't even exist yet. Again, if you have sons, daughters, nieces, nephews, friends, grandkids that are sitting in about middle school now and they're working, by the time they get to high school and get out, they will be applying for jobs that don't exist now. The world of work has really changed. Hey, Christy, thanks for joining. And I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna pop on and try to see where you guys are, which group you're popping on. And I have a couple of different screens here so I can kind of see you popping on. Again, if you're in my Courage to Transition Your Career, do feel free to make comments. They will not show up on my profile page because, you know, you guys are in a private group, right? That's typically how they go. But yeah, so they're going to be, your grandkids, your kids now in middle school, they're going to be applying for jobs that don't even exist right now. So the advice is just get a job, you know, stay there 30, 35 years, put your head down and work hard, move up and retire. That advice is kind of not working for us right now, right? Typically, the average time spent at a job is expected to be about 4 years. 4 years and then you move and you do something else. 4 years and then you move and do something else. So you can see how those of us that were told to, you know, work 30 years, spend that 25, 30 years in the same job and you'll be successful. You can see how that kind of runs afoul of our new career environment today. It has changed, right? And so if you're one of those people who is looking at career transition, you understand you need to make a career transition. But right now, it is just hard. And many people, they either tell me it's very difficult, it's very anxiety producing, it is very difficult, or they're just confused as what to do. That's understandable. We receive different career advice. We receive career advice that's almost obsolete. Not quite. There are still some people who have spent 30, 10, 15, 30 years at a job. But for a lot of us, that's not going to happen. It just isn't going to happen. The world of work has changed. And the other thing is, you know, we used to could depend on our supervisors or our chain of command, you know, at work, or we could depend on our job to have a career path set for us. If you are a budget analyst in this particular company, your career path is this. And if you are a human resource specialist, your career path is going to be this. If you're a project manager, your career path is here. If you sales is here. You know, companies typically had a work path for you, a career path depending on what you were doing. And it was kind of set and you just followed it along. You know, you put your head down and you worked hard, and when it's time for you to go move, you moved up. You work hard, you moved up. And that's kind of what we expected. But nowadays, you are actually expected to perform that role for yourself. You're expected to take charge of your career and to do all of those things and to monitor that and know what your next step is and know where you should go after that, because they're expecting you to take charge of your own career. Because again, you're not spending 30 years with one company anymore. For the most part, you may spend 2, 3, 4, 5 years and then move. And so if you're moving that often, you can understand why you can't necessarily depend on your company or your organization or your agency to have a career path for you to just follow step by step by step with the help of your supervisor or, you know, your director or your manager, whomever. And so if you are feeling like I'm really confused about where I should go, what career path I should take, what should I do? I don't know. I'm not sure what I should be doing right now. I don't know. It makes sense based on the advice that we were given back in the day. I say, you know, 10, 15, 30 years ago, that advice doesn't work anymore. You are expected to direct your own career. Most of us haven't had to do that before. So that can be very confusing. Hey, Julie, thanks for joining on. We are talking about really taking charge of your career and the fact that a lot of us were told, go to a trade school, go to a 4-year degree, 2-year degree, get an education, get a good job, start at entry level, work your way up for the next 25, 30 years in that company, do well, and then retire. how that career advice is no longer it's just obsolete for a lot of us, because now we're expected to move jobs about every. Hey, Julie. Yeah, Julie says hi. Hey, Twanna. Yeah, we're expected to be moving jobs every 4 years or so. So there isn't one job that's going to have a career path set for you. You got to do that yourself. So if you're feeling a little bit lost, and I talked to quite a few ladies who tell me they feel lost. I'm not quite sure what to do, when to do, or how to do it. Right. And so that's the whole reason why I am where I am as a career transition coach. Now, I got the advice to stay in a job and work to 30 something years. But hey, Joshua, thanks for joining. Thanks, my friend. Joshua, where are you joining us from? I know I met you in Arizona, but I think you were from Arizona. Josh and I went to coaching training together, right? Let me know where you're popping on from, Joshua. I was one of those persons that I did receive that go to school, get a job, put your head down, stay there for 25, 30 years. And it didn't work for me. And it didn't work for me for another reason. Because I was tired. I got bored. I got bored with my jobs about every 3 years or so, and I was ready to go. And so my, my first transition out of the military and those first few jobs were like, total fail as career transition. However, the reason why I got really great at career transitions, because I'm at number 9 now. I've transitioned careers 9 times, which is why I do this, because I know how to do it well. But what I found out is I didn't like staying at a job 5, 6 years. It was boring. Sometimes I've just been like really excited to get a job. I worked that job for 2 years and I was bored. It's ready to go. I need to do something else. So for me, one of my values, and I found out for me specifically, my value when it came to work is I wanted to do something different. I needed variety. I didn't want to stay somewhere for 25, 30 years. And I really admire people who do that, but I also look like, wow, in the same place, some of them in the same desk doing the same thing. That would drive me bonkers. I need variety in my career, which is why I had to learn how to do career transition, because every 2, 3, 4 years, 5 years, I was bored with my job and ready to move, right? So Julie says, yes, things are very different. My niece, who's in her 50s, let me see if I can see what else you're saying, Julie. Let me see if I can find my niece who's in her early 50s. Yeah, very different, okay? Very, very much different. Yeah, so I had to learn how to do career transition better than what I did those first out of the gate. So Julie says, things are different. My niece has moved from job to job. I didn't understand that initially. However, now I see she's moved up the ladder. Yes. Because you move around, you get different experiences. You can move laterally, you can move backwards sometimes. You got to take, if you're depending on skill sets you're looking for, and sometimes you move up, but you collect skill sets, right? And then once you amass this group of skill sets, you can pretty much do what you want. That's what I've done. And I am consistently training. I am consistently learning. I'm consistently taking classes. I've had people go, every time I turn around, you're taking a class. Correct. Because when I want to move from one job to another, I just want to move. I just want to do. Right now, there are probably a total of 8 different niches that I can work with my clients on. So Julie says she's making 3 figures. Yeah. There's like probably 8 or 9 different niches I can work with a variety of clients on at any given time, whatever I choose. Because I choose to stay educated. If something interests me, I pursue it. And sometimes I pursue it just out of wanting to learn it. Not because, I want to do that because I can get this client. No, I pursue it because I enjoy learning. I have this love of learning. And then sometimes you never know what comes in handy. And I'll give you an example. When I went through my counseling training back in 2003, I did not want to work with people who had addictions. I didn't think I could handle the failure rate, because Julie says she's very proud of her niece. Yes, right? I didn't think I could handle, because when people are, trying to get clean from, be it drugs or alcohol, they tend to, kind of backslide over and over. It takes a number of times, the average of about 8 times, I'm sorry, before they finally stick it in there like they're clean for good. I didn't think I could handle the failure rate, because I would assume that I was failing, not that this person was on their own addiction journey and they had to get clean when they got clean. So I was like, I don't even want to treat. I can't handle that. But I was looking at my curriculum for my master's degree, and I was like, well, what is something I could do that if this doesn't work out, I could do this instead? And guess what it was? It was addictions. It was addictions counseling. So I actually added about 9 or so hours to my master's degree for addictions counseling. It was probably one of the best decisions I've ever made, because I learned that my job, because I'm a licensed therapist in addition to being a certified coach, right? I learned that my job is to help people on their journey, not journey for them, right? But I was able to do something different with my career than what I was actually training for at the time as a counselor, because I added extra stuff, right? So what does all this have to do? You pretty much have to follow the same route that I follow. You have got to educate yourself. You've got to look out at what interests you. You've got to keep abreast of the newest things in your field. You've got to look out at other fields that may interest you, take classes in those, meet people in those, join organizations. Keep abreast of those things, because you never know what training you took, because it was just good to know, may actually land you a job. And I've seen it when I'm coaching my clients. The job may say, we want a program analyst, but we would like for you to have this specialized experience. It would, in how it's written up in a job announcement, is these are the requirements, but we would prefer someone with this specialty if you have it. What that means is they will take anybody as a program analyst, but the program analyst with that special requirement is probably going to get the job, because they have this little special thing that sets them above others. Well, how do you get those specialties? You do that by educating yourself. You do that by, again, for me, it just starts with what I like, right? I like to study the brain. I like to study neuropsychology. So I study quite a bit of that. I like to study the new things that people are doing. So I'm always learning, finding some class to take to learn it, just because it's fun to do and I enjoy that. But, I'll get clients that are coming in and they're struggling with this thing. And I was like, I just took a training on that. Well, I get to put that to use, right? That's me managing my own career. I have taken charge of my career, right? And I manage my own career. So yes, I am a career transition coach, but those of you in my group know I'm also an anxiety coach. That's actually where I started. I did career and anxiety. And I, changed the name to career transition coach, because a lot of ladies were coming to me because their anxiety was affecting their ability to switch careers and do, pursue a path of purpose that was meaningful for them. So I do the career transition piece of it, but also do the anxiety coaching piece of it, right? And there's sometimes, that I have ladies who decide they want to transition from working for someone to entrepreneurship. So I've done that as well. I've, coached counselors to help them set up their private practice. So I'm always consistently picking up skill sets that make me valuable. Remember at the beginning, I said that I work with women to help them overcome the fear and anxiety that comes with transitioning career, right? And I do that by helping them recognize and communicate their own unique value. Well, your value comes in every time you learn something that is special. And it doesn't have to be like pursuing a job. You can do like I do. I learn for just the pure enjoyment of it. So Julie says, oh, how I wish you were close to me. Well, Julie, I actually, the reason why I pulled my coaching out of my counseling business was so that I could do coaching with people here in the United States and outside the United States. So I've had clients in Canada. I've, coached people in Korea, Japan, and, I've coached people in different places for that very reason, because you don't have to be near each other to do coaching. I do all my coaching on Zoom, right? And every blue moon on the phone, but most of the time it is on Zoom. And so if you like to talk with me and we can sit down and chit chat about what's going on, we can certainly do that. And so Julie says, you seem to have chosen the special subjects that I need. I knew that one of my values for my job is variety. And so I am always just pursuing the latest. If something, like I said, I love studying the brain, neuropsychology, and the intersection of neuropsychology with coaching and with counseling. So I'm always pursuing that. And there's just so many ways that it branches out. But absolutely, I would love to sit down and chat with you to see how I could help you. Definitely, right? But that is what you have to do. You have to take charge of your own career because companies are not doing that for the most part anymore. But here's the thing. You don't have to be afraid of negotiating that change, taking charge of your career on your own. That's why you have a career transition coach. That is what I help women do, because I do get a lot of women that say, I don't know where to start. All I know is I'm in this career and it is unfulfilling. Yes, it pays the bill, but I don't like coming here. Or, I am so underpaid in this job and I need to do something else. Yeah. Julie, just drop me a DM and I'll reach out to you and we can just set something up again. Typically, my first calls that I set up are on the phone, unless you are overseas. Like I set up an appointment with someone today who's in the UK. So that appointment I'll do by Zoom. It is your choice whether you want to do video or not. But typically, if you're in the United States or Canada, I do the first, your strategy session. It's a free strategy session. I do that by phone, and we sit down and take a look at everything that's going on. And we do, so Julie says, I turned 70 and I'm a soul learner. If you're still learning, Julie, that's the point. That is a whole thing, right? That is a whole point. I love the fact, because I'm 50, I'll be 56 this month. January 31st is my birthday, and I have some special things coming up. A lot of promos towards the end of the month just because it's my birthday month. So I'll be 56. My mom did not get her nursing degree until she was 53. So you can learn slow, you can learn quickly. The fact is do you enjoy it? You learn at your own pace. And you do. So you're at that age, you can do whatever it is you want to do, however it is you want to do it, right? And I'm like, at the double nickels, like, yeah, that's what I do. But definitely the first, when I do a free strategy session, the first one is typically by phone, unless you're like the UK or, Korea, Japan, Australia. Then I'll do it by Zoom, right? And we'll do that first strategy session. We'll sit down and talk about what's going on, where you want to go, and what is the gap? What's stopping you? What's preventing you from getting there? And then I'll help you map out a step-by-step plan so that you can move in that direction. Thanks, Julie. My mom passed away in 2010. But she'd been practicing nursing for 7 years. She wanted to be a nurse since she was a freshman. Nope, I think about the 8th grade. She wanted to be a nurse, and she did a lot of other things. And finally, my dad and I would talked her into it, and she started nursing school and graduated when she was 53. So you're never too old to do anything. Your dreams are your dreams, and you're never too old to pursue your dreams, right? And that is, again, why I hold this position. That is why I'm a helper today. So my mom always had the heart of a nurse. She became a phlebotomist. She took EMT training. She took CNA training. And finally, at the mature age of 52, I think it was, she started, 51. She started nursing school and finished. So you can do it. Whatever it is you set your mind to, you can definitely do it. Right? So again, we're talking today about now, the current philosophy. It used to be that you were told to get a job, stay in that job 25, 30, 40 years, and the job would take care of you, and you had a career path pretty much planned for you, and your supervisors or your chain of command or your company had a career path that was just set for you. So that's no longer true. We are So Julie says, so sorry I lost my mom just before I turned 40. Yeah. Thank you, Julie. And I'm sorry for your loss as well. It was devastating, needless to say. That is why I named my counseling practice after my mom. JBC Counseling and Consulting actually stands for Janelle Bush Carter. It's named after my mom. And I do that, and I practice counseling in honor of my mom. Just the little ways, to make it meaningful, right? So definitely nowadays, we're expected to take charge of our own career. And for sure, you don't have to do that alone. For those of you that are watching now, and for those of you that catch the replay, if you're in this stuck place and realize that you're kind of confused or you don't really know what to do or where to start, the reason is the advice we got has changed. You are now expected to take charge of your own career. However, you have career transition coaches that are out there to help you to do that so that you can land on your feet in the position you want, do all the work that's needed, do the inner work, because oftentimes I find I got to do inner work with my clients before we can even get to the transition stuff. We got to work on that mindset because some people feel like I've sat in a job for too long and I'm not valuable anymore. And so that's that piece of it where I said I empower women to recognize their own value, because a lot of women in a job just feel like they have no value. But that's part of what I do as a transition coach. I help you recognize that value and then communicate it to hiring managers and employers so that you can get the job, pursue the job and get the job of your dreams, because life is too short for you to be going to work every day in a job you hate. If you're rolling over and dread to go to work, or you find a reason, or you're actually sick. Some people are actually sick every Monday morning. They have a headache, they have a stomach ache, they're actually ill because stress and anxiety, they don't want to go into their job. Life's too short for that. Get a job that you like to go into, that aligns to your passion, aligns to your purpose, and you can get paid for it, right? So ladies and gentlemen, I do appreciate it. I want to say I do offer a free strategy session. If you drop #session below, I'll reach out to you and get that set up. I have some extra appointments that I'm opening up next week because I have some workshops that are coming up. So be on the lookout for those. I'll be announcing those coming up, and get you signed up for that. I have some workshops coming up. How to land your dream job without starting over at the bottom. That's what's coming up. That's what's on tap. So I'll be dropping some posts and things about that. I do appreciate you all for watching. Again, thank you, much appreciation. And to those of you who catch me on the replay. So Julie says, yes, it was. I think that was a response to my comment. It was very surprising. We both lost our mothers unexpectedly. So again, thanks for watching, ladies and gentlemen. Take care, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.